Shomrabyug.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sherlock, Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture.
Sherlock, listen. Sherlock, listen.
Sherlock, listen.
Sherlock, listen.
Sherlock, listen.
Sherlock, listen.
Sherlock, listen. Very good, Benjamin. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sherlock, we've got a lot to cover this week because for some reason everything that's coming out over the next couple of months had a trailer released this week, including but not limited to the Japanese character Itsame Mario. We've also seen Transformers The Beastie Boys, The Return of the Beastie Boys. Also, The Last of Us. Ben, I don't know what that is. Indiana Jones 5. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I can't do a joke about each of these. I'll never get through them. And... oh no, that was it.
That's it. Sure, listen, Michael, when you're not stepping on my bit, we'll also be talking about Deadpool as a genre. How the Deadpool film kind of inspired a little mini wave of stuff.
Oh, all sorts of stuff coming at us.
Yeah, a couple of different films, couple of TV series, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
What's the crack with all of these trailers? Why have we just been bombarded with trailers this week? Was there a New York Comic Con?
Michael, it's Christmas hype season.
Hype?
Michael, they're trying to make sure the profits are good and strong come January.
Oh, hype.
Good big strong boys come January.
Hype.
Yeah,
Benjamin,
that's what they want. Yeah.
You're all for representation in cinema. You love it.
I'm really not, Michael. Noted bigot, fascist and all-round racist here. Not a fan.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Benjamin, how do you feel about American Chris Pratt playing the Japanese character Itsame Mario?
I have, on two levels, Michael, I'm repulsed. Number one, we have a very, very, very famous voice actor attached to that character who has voiced that character religiously for years and years and years.
He's like, in nomine patre, Itsame Mario.
Exactly. Yes, a real Italian. No, it's Charles Martinet, Michael, is the original voice actor of Mario. And anytime you've played a US release of a Mario game, it's Charles Martinet.
Benjamin, I'm not playing any US releases of any Marios. I live in Europe.
You live in Europe. You've also heard his voice on the Europe. Any English-speaking Marios, you got yourself a Charles Martinet.
And he's the fellow who's going, oh, woohoo!
Yeah, he's the guy who famously did the It's a Me, Mario.
Okay. And he did that at the start of Mario 64.
Yeah, he's been doing it for decades, Michael.
Very good.
He is Mario's voice actor. So it doesn't even boil down, Michael, to a matter of, well, maybe it's time for a change. People fucking love Mario.
People, big franchise Mario.
You didn't have to change it. If anything, you've made a mistake.
But Benjamin, Chris Pratt, he'll get bums on seats.
Will he?
Well, Hollywood certainly seems to think so.
Why?
Him and Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh does get bums on seats, and fair fucks to Miss Yeoh. I'll put my arse in a seat for Miss Yeoh.
I don't know, Ben. I reckon that Michelle Yeoh has some sort of Nicolas Cage-style debt problem.
Well, maybe.
And now she'll just be in anything. But that's neither here nor there, Benjamin. Were you any more or less excited by the Mario trailer?
I think it looks brilliant. I think it's got a really nice feel to it. I think it looks like it might have a very good sense of humour.
It's got Donkey Kong in it, Ben.
Donkey Kong's in there pummeling. That version of Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I'm all for it.
Very good. It's got Mario karting.
It's got a bit of karting with the lads from Mario. Mm-hmm. It's got a sassy independent woman called Peach.
Yeah. She doesn't need no rescuing.
She doesn't need no rescuing, Michael, even though that has been the premise of literally every single series of the franchise.
I have only played 2 Mario games ever, Benjamin. I'm in no position to comment.
You're probably fine not playing the rest, Michael. They get very similar after a while.
Benjamin, I think they're generally upheld as one of the best video game series of all times.
Yeah.
So I don't know if your comment there is going to hold weight with our video gaming listeners.
Highly doubtful, Michael. But then again, very few of my comments hold weight with anybody.
That's true.
That's actually painfully, Michael, true. So even when you move on, right, I think it's fair to say that Jack Black as Bowser is an inspired piece of casting.
Well, my favourite thing about Jack Black as Bowser is he's not doing Jack Black. He's not going zippity bop bop I'm Bowser.
No. He's doing his own thing. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. I will watch anything that Keegan-Michael Key is in. Great.
He's very good, yep.
Okay. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. He's got a big jolly energy. It's going to work pretty well. Then there's Anya Taylor-Joy, who's Princess Peach. She's the hot ticket right now, Michael.
He's so hot right now.
That's why she's in there doing this. And then Charlie Day is Luigi. Now, I love Charlie Day. I'll watch him in anything he's in.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's Always Sunny. I absolutely love it. And he's got a good voice for a nervous, kind of anxious character, which is what Luigi is. The key thing to all of them, Michael, is they don't have a famous voice attached to them.
Go on.
They don't sell a franchise. They don't have catchphrases. Peach doesn't have a, oh no. Well, I suppose she has the Save Me Mario, but that's not really a catchphrase.
Yeah, I'm in another castle. And Luigi's always going, look, it's fucking ghosts.
Yeah, that's his exact catchphrase, Michael. I think they've toned that down for this release.
For the release,
normally, you'd be spot on. But Chris Pratt, and then he said, it's unlike anything you ever heard. I watched that trailer, Michael. It's just Chris Pratt doing a Brooklyn accent.
He's Chris Pratt doing a Mario. He goes, a whippy.
And I just...
He goes, a yahoo.
I mean, I'm not invested, Michael. I don't really care about the Mario movie, but I do think it's a bit of a finger in the middle of the face. And the other interesting thing is, Michael, he's really turned a lot of the voice actors of Hollywood against him. Tara Strong has come out and said, look, I mean, Chris Pratt's fine, but it should have been Charles. Because Charles Martinet is apparently a very beloved voice actor.
Is he any use, though?
Well, he just does Mario, Michael. I don't think he has to be any use.
Yeah, he does have to be any use, Ben. There's one thing being Mario in a video game and going, woohoo, yippee, Itsame Mario, and then being able to deliver the centre of a dramatic performance for 2 hours.
Well, that's a good argument. That's a good argument, and I'll take it on board, Michael.
It's not my first ever time having a conversation about films.
It isn't, Michael. You're a mad fan for films. I think Quentin Tarantino and his feat shots are your magnum opus kind of argument, aren't they? You're just like, here's why you need to have those grotesquely exploitable feat shots in Tarantino, because he's a genius, you see.
He is a genius. He's a cinematic genius. That's what I think.
That's what you've always said, Michael, and it's always been uncomfortable in the pub after a certain amount of pints. But look, what can you do?
I'm 40. I haven't been to the pub in weeks.
Nor have I, Michael. Fucking pubs.
You were at that party last week that I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, I know, but that's different, Michael.
Oh, because I wasn't invited.
That's a party.
Listen, Mario. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Speaking of beloved franchises which have never put a foot wrong.
Never.
How excited are you for the next Transformers film? Transformers, what's continuity?
What's continuity? So, Michael, I thought we got a reboot when Haley Steinfeld was doing her strange Disney Herbie becomes an alien life form thing. But apparently we're not getting that, Michael.
No, I think it is. I think this is set in the 90s.
What?
Well, all of the cars are from the 90s. As an aficionado of 90s cars, Ben, I can tell you that all of the... Yes. Of the car... Oh, I love 90s cars, Ben.
Okay.
The Nissan Fairlady Z, Ben.
Oh, you have actually waxed lyrical to me about the Nissan
Fairlady Z, or the Datsun Z80 as it was called in this country.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that, Michael.
Yes. Well, Benjamin, that's actually a late 70s car. But look, that's neither here nor there. Benjamin.
Yes.
It looks like it might be set in the 90s.
Yes. So I'm reading here, Michael. I'm having a little look here because I'm very confused by it. Apparently it is an official sequel to Bumblebee.
It is or it isn't?
It is.
Okay, so
according
it's an
to
official
Wikipedia.
sequel to Bumblebee.
2018's Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, yeah, the famous film Bumblebee, yes. But it's not an official sequel to all the rest of the Transformers films then.
It is the 7th installment in this goddamn franchise.
It's non-stop, they're just coming at you, man.
I don't know. They've somehow, Michael, take a guess there for me. You're going to enjoy this. So, the setup that we got, Michael, and the first thing I said watching this trailer with you is, Jesus, Optimus Prime and the big monkey fella.
Yes,
they're very similar sounding, aren't they?
They're very similar sounding, Ben, because in the TV show, Benjamin, Beast Wars,
yeah,
they are Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. And
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to use the name Optimus Primal in this. I hope they do.
They are.
Are they? Well,
I'm looking at it here.
you say that, Benjamin. I assume you're looking at a Wikipedia.
Yes, I am.
And they very rarely name characters in these films.
Okay, that's fair.
They very rarely say the names of characters out loud, which
that is
leads to
true.
all sorts of confusion for Transformers fans, Benjamin, going, was that Blitzwing or Starscream?
Which one is this?
Which one is it? It's kind of got Blitzwing's personality, but Starscream's transformation scheme, but Blitzwing's colours. And what? Who is it? Is Starscream not dead? You know what I mean? They don't give a shit, Benjamin. They do not give a flying monkey's fecal matter about where these characters come from.
I don't know if this monkey has fecal matter
He might not, Benjamin. It might just be nanobots.
or
But,
oil.
yeah, in the TV show, Benjamin, Optimus Primal was a great descendant of Optimus Prime. Now, Benjamin, I don't know if that means that the robots were fucking.
I think it does, Michael. I think that's exactly what that means.
I think it means that they were.
Yeah. I
So
think
that's
that
why
is,
that's why they look and sound the same in the show, Ben.
well, it isn't, Michael, because it's Peter Cullen playing Optimus Prime.
Yes, it's always Peter Cullen playing Optimus Prime. He's always going, freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
And then it's none other than Ron Perlman playing Optimus Primal.
Optimus Squarehead, Ron Perlman himself.
Ron Perlman. Guess who's playing Optimus Primal's Gal Friday Air Razor, Michael?
Benjamin, you're playing this guessing game with me, a
No.
noted Transformers fan.
No. You just spoke about it.
No,
It's-
Benjamin, what I'm about to say is I know.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So we can play the guessing game. If you would like me to do a conceit where I don't know that it's Michelle Yeoh, then we can.
Can we do the conceit? Because I felt really
yeah.
chuffed.
Okay, right, go on,
So,
ask me
Michael,
again
go
then.
on. See if you can guess. See if you can
Okay.
guess. You'll never get this, Michael. You'll never get this. See if you can guess.
Yes,
okay,
go on.
okay. Edge of your seat. I know.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
if you can guess who plays Optimus Primal's Gal Friday Air Razor. Go on. You'll never
Air
guess.
Razor, Benjamin, the Transformer who turns into some sort of eagle.
A
I'd say it's
Peregrine
probably
Falcon.
a Peregrine Falcon, Benjamin. It's probably a hot young thing of the moment, Anya Taylor-Joy.
It is not Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh boy, I got you.
Oh, you bloody got me. You've hoisted me by my own Transformers knowledge petard.
It's only Michelle Yeoh, Michael.
Oh, she's in everything, Benjamin. I reckon she has some sort of Nicolas Cage-esque debt that she has to pay off.
Amazing. What a great joke first time.
Thank you. Well, that's, you see, Ben, I knew that Michelle Yeoh was in this, and I was kind of setting up a bit where I was going to keep saying that about Michelle Yeoh, but you've stepped on that now. You've fucked that completely for me.
Sorry.
Another thing you've ruined for me.
Just another thing along with your life and your podcast.
Benjamin, speaking of stealing characters and getting them all mixed up and not giving a shit of them, Pete Davidson, your noted ally, Pete Davidson, is playing the character Mirage, apparently.
Yes, apparently. Who's Mirage, Michael? Tell me more.
Mirage is from the original series, Benjamin, Generation 1, as it's known in Transformers, and he was a kind of elitist Transformers kind of lord and big game hunter who, when he came to Earth, he took on the form of a Formula 1 car. And he also had the ability to turn invisible and create Mirage duplicates of himself.
That's a lot of stuff going on, Michael.
Yeah, Benjamin, but you'll note that in the trailer where he's driving around, he's not a bloody Formula 1 car, is he? He's a bloody Porsche.
He's a Porsche or a Porsche, depending on if you're a pedant.
It's depending on if you're a big pedantophile. Benjamin, and I'll tell you what, that Porsche looks very much like, but not exactly like, the original form of Jazz.
Oh, they've done it again, Michael.
They've done it again. They just fuck it. We don't give a shit. We don't care what the name of any of these characters are.
They really don't.
They don't give an absolute
They
monkeys,
don't. They
Benjamin.
couldn't give a monkeys.
What a cast, though.
Liza Koshy's in it, Michael. Noted internet star Liza Koshy.
Is she going to be RC, Benjamin?
She's RC, Michael, the Autobot commander who transforms into a red white Ducati 916 motorcycle, otherwise known as the, for some reason, anatomically female transformer.
Well, Benjamin, they've been going for quite a while. They were in several of the other films too.
Oh, were they? Okay. I haven't watched any of the films, Michael.
Yeah. There's always girl robots, and they have, I wouldn't say breasts, but they definitely have chestal protrusions.
I see.
For some reason.
John DiMaggio's in there.
Bender himself, yeah.
Bender himself, he's going to play Stratosphere.
Yeah, whoever that is.
He is an Autobot air soldier who transforms into a cargo plane.
Once again, I did know.
You were just letting me.
I was doing a big sarcasm.
Yeah, very good. Very.
I'll tell you what, Ben. I don't care. I'll go see it. Obviously.
Well, yes, because you're a fan of the series, Michael.
Am I? No, I'm not.
You're
I'm
a
very
huge
much not.
fan of the Michael Bay Transformers. That's what got you into Transformers in the first place.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's not true. You've bloody made an absolute mockery of me.
I have, yeah. That's why you bought all those cool toys for an exorbitant price behind you.
Oh yeah. I forgot about those. Benjamin, I'll tell you what though.
What?
If I tell you what though, hold on. I'm working this out for a second. I'll tell you what, Ben. There used to be millions of original Transformers fans, but the movies have really whittled us down, and I think I might be The Last of Us.
Michael, that's very well done. Now that was a buttery smooth. That was a Dairy Gold sponsorable segue. Because Michael, we got the first full official trailer for The Last of Us video game movie or series adaptation.
Benjamin, it's got Pedro Pascal in it.
It's got Pedro Pascal, noted good guy Pedro Pascal.
People like him.
I love him. Big Daddy Pascal is what I call him.
Yeah, and he doesn't even make you.
He doesn't even make me. No, it's a voluntary. Naming.
Benjamin,
yeah.
I've never played The Last of Us.
I have played a little bit of The Last of Us, but not much.
It probably frightened you, did it?
I'm a very easily frightened man. You see.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. What are you doing? Are you looking something up? I can tell by the look of your eyes and the clicking. What are you looking up?
It's the focus, Michael. I have to focus.
What are you looking up? Tell me what you're looking up.
I'm looking up The Last of Us to find out the name of the young girl in it who was in Game of Thrones, but whose name I can't remember because I don't want to be a sexist.
Oh, the actress.
Yeah, the actress.
She played Lord Joanna Mormont.
Yeah, she played the little bear.
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm sick of you not helping."
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell! I'm sick of you. Oh my.
That's her. Is it? That's her who's playing Ellie from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good, Benjamin.
Yeah.
One of the most famous things about The Last of Us is the absolutely grim and harrowing opening scene.
Yes.
You've told me about it before.
I have.
And Benjamin, correct me if I'm wrong, in the opening scene, and there might be spoilers here for this, so avert your ears if you're planning on watching The Last of Us and don't want any video game spoilers.
Go on, you have that there.
Averted. Benjamin, you told me that the character of Joel, played in this by Pedro Pascal as Wolverine.
Yes.
He is trying to escape from the zombie infestation at the start with his own daughter?
I think so, yes.
And she gets brutally killed in front of his very eyes?
Yes.
By criminals or guards or something?
It's people.
Just bad eggs.
Yeah.
And then he picks up Ellie as a kind of surrogate daughter.
No, Michael. It's very clear in the trailer. She's just cargo.
She's just cargo, Benjamin. The famous line from The Transporter.
From The Transporter.
Starring Jason Statham.
Don't get attached.
It's just cargo, mate.
Oh, bloody hell. Don't get attached to the cargo, mate. Oh, apples and pears. Oh,
very good. Benjamin, I wasn't very inspired by this trailer again, to be honest. I cannot see myself sitting down to watch The Last of Us, the series.
It looks like, Michael, it's taking a few hefty notes from The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
It looks like somebody, Michael, may have watched The Walking Dead and picked up the wrong part of what people liked about it. They may have turned around and said, do you know what I bet people really like about this?
Daryl.
The slow burn element of it. I bet they really enjoy a stretched out plot.
That's what
I bet that's really what wets their gums, you know?
Benjamin, I only got one episode into that thing where the little boy had the horns.
Bloody Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. I only got one episode into that.
I'm so impressed that I got that.
Yeah,
just
thank you.
For the record.
Thank you for your help and assistance, Benjamin.
That was very good.
The little boy has the horns. But this is it seems very thematically, narratively, structurally similar.
It does seem like, oh, you're special. Oh, am I? Oh, am I special? Oh, why?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just special.
And then Benjamin, it looks like in one of the early episodes they're going to be, forced to stay with an elderly couple.
Yeah,
who
it's
are
a
going to
classic.
tell them, don't carry on this journey.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, you don't want to go that way.
It's going to hit all the tropes, Benjamin. The one thing that did pique my interest slightly is it has your favourite actor and mine, our very own Ron Swanson, Nick Offerman in it.
Ron Swanson.
People love him, Ben.
People love Ron Swanson almost as much as they love Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. I mean, on goodwill alone, it's probably going to do okay.
It's probably going to be fine, Michael.
Is
Sheer
Michelle Yeoh in it,
goodwill. I'd imagine she's in there somewhere. Maybe she's one of the clickers.
Maybe she's in it. I imagine she's in one of the early episodes at the very least.
Do you know what I reckon, Michael?
What is it?
I reckon she's got some kind of Nicolas Cage style gambling debt.
Yeah, I reckon that's what it is. Benjamin, you haven't put Blood Origins on. That's what was missing.
Speaking of Michelle Yeoh's crippling gambling debt.
Speaking of Michelle Yeoh's crippling gambling debt, Benjamin, I knew I forgot something in the intro. The Witcher fan fiction, Benjamin, The Witcher Blood Origins is coming out in, when's that? Is that January too?
Yeah. January, I don't know, probably. Michael, again, it's a case of maybe watching the show. People watched The Witcher and said, it's definitely not the monsters or the big sexy monster hunter or the very, very noticeable attention to detail when it comes to having him interact with monsters and treating them with kind of care and respect on occasion. No, it's not that people like about this show. I bet it's the very loose, not very well defined possible history that's going on in this show. It's
our fantasy world that people like. People don't care about the character Gerard and the actor, what's his name again? Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah. Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that. People want to hear the history of our rather generic Central European fantasy realm.
That's one of the key rules of writing a fantasy world. Remember that your readers will always care as much about the minutiae and world building as you do. That's a golden rule.
That is the second golden rule.
What's the first?
Of taking a beloved franchise and needlessly and vaguely expanding on its origin story. The first rule is get Lenny Henry in it.
Get Lenny Henry in it, and he'll probably do an offensive accent.
Get him in it. Get him to do an offensive accent. Get him to play a stereotype for you.
So, I mean, it's pretty interesting, Michael, that I think they must have looked at the Rings of Power and said, we've got a franchise we can do that with.
Or Game of Thrones, Game of Dragons, so many dragons.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then they're just a little bit late to the party now. And I bet they're kind of sweating it now because Rings of Power wasn't that well received.
Pretty negatively received. I don't know if anyone knows how well it did. It definitely generated chatter, Ben. So people were watching it. I was almost begrudgingly watching it.
I know House of the Dragon did well. I watched House of the Dragon.
I didn't watch House of the Dragon.
That's interesting.
And I know that House of the Dragon was generally better received, but I don't know if it did better.
Oh my goodness. What a conundrum, Michael.
Exactly, Benjamin. And you have to factor in that the metric of success for these shows is very different to what it used to be.
Yeah.
The metric for success now is how well did it feed the algorithm?
Yes, did people click on it randomly?
Yeah, did people click on it and sign up and pay money?
That's what we really want to know, Michael. Yeah. I just don't know if I have any more room in my heart, Michael, for there's an empire. And oh boy, it's not going
people.
Well. And the worst sin of this trailer is there's like they're outsiders. It's like yes, we know they're fucking outsiders.
Look at them. Look how diverse and interesting they are.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, you don't literally call them outsiders. That's not how it works.
7 outsiders come together. Benjamin, like everything that features 7 outsiders coming together to topple an evil empire, this is someone's original idea for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that they have now just kind of cross-written into fitting into the Witcher universe.
Yep.
And the Witcher has gone, yeah, fuck, that'll do. Get it out there before Rings of Power.
And they failed.
Yeah, we don't want to saturate Lenny Henry. We don't want people not talking about our show.
Do you think Lenny Henry just had a really great time dressing up and doing an offensive act? And he's like, find me more stuff like that to his agent.
Look, all credit to Lenny Henry. I thought he was actually quite good in Rings of Power, and I don't imagine that the accent decision was his.
Probably not.
Isn't it an interesting resurgence in the career of Lenny Henry that he's suddenly become a genre actor?
That he's suddenly become an actor at all. I wasn't aware that Lenny Henry was anything other than a comedian at one point.
Yeah, he was just a kind of jolly stand-up comedian who's now become a kind of serious older gentleman fantasy and sci-fi actor.
A thespian.
Don't we all wish we could do that in our later years?
I have lots of thespian fantasies. Yeah, tons of them. So yeah, Michael. So I think the unfortunate timing with this
double entendre you've ever done. I have lots of thespian fantasies and a lisp. Is that what you're saying? That's the best double entendre you've ever done, Ben. You should be entirely ashamed of yourself.
I am.
Very
so,
good.
Come here to me, Michael.
What is it?
I think the issue here, Michael, is that it's just, it's an oversaturated market, Michael. You have to look at it and say, well, we've done so many of these now, Michael. And to be honest, it's past the point of diminishing returns. And you'd wonder why you keep going and adding things to this franchise. Anyway, what's next on the running order there?
Oh, very good. That's very good. It's bloody Indiana Jones 5, Benjamin. That was a very good segue. Oh, you've completely ruined my joke that I wanted to do, but I'm willing to sacrifice it. I'll do it next week. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 5 and the quest for the we're sorry about Shia LaBeouf being in the last one.
I don't even know if it's that. We're sorry about the last one, full stop, maybe?
Yeah, Indiana Jones 5
We
or
fucked
4
up.
and a big wink.
Do you think that's going to happen?
That they're just going to retcon it?
Yeah.
No, because, look, it's an interesting thing because we are the first people ever to see the concept of multi-generational film franchises.
It's true.
It's just not, it's never been done before. Is there any film series which has had the same character since, when did Indiana Jones come out? 84?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think so. I'll look it up now.
Just yeah me, Ben? Are you just giving me a big yeah, or is that...
No. I think it is 84. Don't give me jip on my own podcast.
Bloody, I tell you whose podcast it is.
Oh, I tell you what, I can't stand these apple pears. Oh, don't get attached to the cargo.
So anyway, what was I saying? Yes. This is now entering its third generation of film goers.
Essentially, yes.
Like, this film is going to be seen by the grandkids of people who saw the original in the cinema.
1981, Michael.
81, Benjamin.
81.
This film with the same stars and continuing the same series is going to be seen by the grandchildren of the people who saw the original.
Yeah, it's really something like.
It's impossible for us to tell how this is going to impact popular culture. Just by way of comparison, Ben, look how a generation now loves the Star Wars prequel series.
It's true. It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird because the prequel series was much maligned by the original series fans when it came out, and now those two sets of fans have teamed up to hate the new series.
But who knows what will happen with those? Those are apparently going to be fully retconned.
Benjamin, who gives a shite what anyone's doing about retconning?
Oh, I don't. But it's just interesting.
Well, funnily enough, I did probably 10 years ago when Avengers was starting to hit.
Oh.
But now that everything is just a multi-tiered, multi-level, always-on, never-off franchise...
It's a multi-level Marvel marketing scheme.
But it's not just Marvel. Everyone just wants a non-stop intermingling franchise. And it's exhausting to try and keep up with it.
I don't want it. We certainly never thought, Michael, we'd be in a position when we started this podcast where it'd be relentless.
Absolutely.
But
who would have ever thought, Benjamin, when we started this podcast, that there would be too much Marvel stuff for us to watch and we wouldn't be caring about keeping up?
But that's exactly what's happened.
But look, I think the big controversy of this is going to be Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in it.
Why?
Why is it going to be a controversy?
Yeah. Is it because it's
Indiana
woman?
Jones, yeah, because it's a woman. And
get fucked.
Indiana Jones appealed majorly, not exclusively, but majorly, to young boys in the 80s and 90s who are now 40-year-old men or 50-year-old men. And a lot of them are reasonable people and will happily go see a film with a woman in it. But a small but vocal minority will think that this is wokeism, Ben. Wokeism gone mad. But, look, what I was going to say is, who better than Phoebe Waller-Bridge? I'd much rather Phoebe Waller-Bridge than some hot young new actress.
Yeah, I think I'm behind that. I think
I'd
that's
much
pretty
rather
solid.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge than Isa Gonzalez.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Andor.
Oh yeah, she was Bix.
Was she Bix? I don't know. I
don't know. I didn't finish watching it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was.
It was
her.
very good, but I
Yeah,
just
yeah, it
didn't
was really
finish
good,
watching
yeah.
it. Something else came out that I had to do for the podcast, and that was it.
Yeah, that'll happen. Bloody franchise overload, Ben. But yeah, I'm glad that it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I like that it's someone who's like approaching 40 and, you know, not primarily known for being attractive. Not that she isn't, Benjamin.
Not that she isn't.
Not that she isn't, but that's not her thing. They've taken a
she's
risk by... Go on.
She's no bloody Daenerys Targaryen. What's her name? Emilia de Clark.
Emilia Clarke, I think. I don't know.
Emilia de Clark,
French.
her Italian cousin. Yeah, she's not that. She's not an Anna de Armas.
No, exactly.
You know.
So they've gone for an interesting character actor comedian. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by it.
Do you know who I would have preferred in the role all the same?
Who would you have preferred in the role? Anna de Armas.
Michelle Yeoh.
Very good. Well, Michelle Yeoh's probably in it, Ben, because she's
She
got an
probably
enormous
is.
debt
I think we
problem.
could probably put money on it right
She's
now.
got an enormous Nicolas Cage style debt problem that she needs to
Yes,
pay
if
off.
only she would stop putting money on things.
Of all of the things that I've seen this week, Benjamin, of all of the trailers that I've endured, this is the one I'm second most excited about, was Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's good. What's the first, Michael?
Bloody Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Benjamin.
I couldn't give a flying fuck, Michael.
Oh, go on.
Chris Pratt has put me off everything.
Crisp P. Rat.
Crispy Rat.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. We should
That's
get
not
t-shirts
my joke,
made.
Benjamin. That is James Gunn's joke.
Oh, damn it.
Benjamin, do you remember the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Do you remember there was a lady in it called Ratcatcher?
Yeah.
The rat actor who played her rat was called Chris P. Rat.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So that's where that came from.
So, Michael, this is
Go on,
an
what is it?
interesting one. The thing of this seems to be we've been running our whole lives.
Yeah.
Have they?
Oh, yeah,
Is that accurate?
Yeah. Look, listen, Ben. I think the Guardians... Ben, look, listen, would you? Listen for a second. The name of the
I'm
podcast.
here. I'm
Sure,
listening.
listen. I think the Guardian... Of all of the characters in Marvel's oeuvre...
Yeah.
A little French word for you there.
Thanks.
Of all of the characters, I think that they've been given the shortest shrift from the last couple of years.
Yeah, they got a real shitty hand dealt to them.
They did, and even in Endgame, Infinity War, Thor, No Use, what was it, Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
In all of those things, their roles were greatly reduced, making them, the entire gang of them, comic relief.
Yes.
Now, except Nebula maybe and Gamora to an extent.
To an extent.
Their story has been propelled forward with them as comic relief C-list characters.
Background gang.
And I can't wait for them to get to be the heroes again.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Same director, same trilogy, same timeline. Assuming that you don't have to have seen all the rest of it, I'm kind of hoping it's going to be the last vestiges of the pre-Endgame Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Is this the point where you retire, Michael?
This
Are you hanging up your cowl at the end of this?
This might be my last hurrah, Ben. I was watching Avengers Endgame the other day.
Yeah.
As I do. I just kind of watch it sometimes.
Yeah, you do. It's true.
And my lovely lady friend happened to come in at the moment where the portal's open and Sam says, on your left.
Yes.
And then T'Challa walks through the portals. And then the Wakandas start coming through going, Bombay! And then, the Ravagers appear and she just went, they should have stopped after this. And I said to her,
do you know what?
Yeah.
Straight out of the mouth of significant others.
And I said to her, yeah, you know what? In fact, straight after this, they should have had that scene. They should have just had that scene. The Avengers all charge forward. It cuts to black. Text appears on the screen. The Avengers won, and everybody lived happily ever after. And then that's it. There's no more films.
It's so interesting, Michael. We have really proved the Chris Nolan Batman. You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Because in the beginning, we were like, oh, do you know what? We hate begrudgers. We hate the naysayers. And now we're just like, fuck Phase 4. Oh, fuck Phase 4.
Put it in a big bin. So I'm kind of hoping, Ben, that of all... Now, the only problem with this bit of this glimmer of hope that I'm clinging on to...
Hope's the thing that'll get you.
I know, hope is the thing. I think that was also Christopher Nolan who said that. The one concern I have about this glimmer of hope was that everything about the glimmer, Ben, same director, same actor, same actors, same cast, all of that was also true of the worst Phase 4 film, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor: Love and Blunder, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's taken me about 6 months to come up with that.
A bit pedestrian, actually.
Bit pedestrian. But yeah, look, I don't know. Should listen.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know if it's a case of sheer exhaustion on the part of people. Like, I think Taika Waititi just didn't care anymore. Taika Waititi is ADHD in human form, and I think he probably was just like, I've done this project quite a few times now.
I
don't know if I need to keep going with this. Probably just do something else.
Yeah, Benjamin, look, it has the High Evolutionary in it.
Does it?
Yeah. He's on the planet of turning all the animals into humans.
That is the first villain that I ever read, Michael, way back in 1990 something. I was given an X-Men annual.
Oh yeah,
for Christmas, and in the X-Men annual was the High Evolutionary. He was the villain.
And what was he doing? Was he turning animals?
He was
into
turning
humans?
people into chimeras, like hybrid.
He's always doing that. He's always at it.
Yeah, it's not great. Kanye West probably really likes him and his eugenics.
I don't get that reference, Benjamin.
Michael, never mind. There's about 3 people that simultaneously understand the Kanye West drama at the minute and listen to this podcast, and they'll be like,
a great Kanye West jibe, Benjamin. I've no interest in Kanye West.
It's grand. You can just let it go. Speaking, Michael.
Yes, what is it?
Of letting things go. How are you going to feel letting it go?
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ben.
I'd like to film your reaction as a documentary.
Well, here's the thing. I think I've already emotionally let it go.
I think you've probably have. You've emotionally severed yourself from it.
Yeah, so I see them all still. But I've also seen every DCU film. And I've also seen every film. I've seen every film in the Valiant cinematic universe, including Bloodshot.
And Bloodshot.
That's it, just Bloodshot. I'm Bloodshot.
I am Bloodshot. Wrong franchise, Vin. Wrong franchise.
So I've seen every film in every comic cinematic universe, Benjamin, but my flag was definitely hoisted to the Marvel Cinematic Universe flagpole until probably so much so, but probably not as much anymore.
Yeah,
unless they bring me back with Guardians Volume 3, Ben.
I don't know if they can, Michael.
We'll bloody see, won't we?
We'll probably be in the cinema supporting it with our monies.
We'll give it some of our money, Benjamin, and it will have that fella in it, Will Coulter.
Will Coulter. Oh, that fella there, Will Poulter, even if you want it to be accurate. But
he's going to be Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. Big muscular Adam Warlock.
He's gone buff.
He's gone big and buff.
Yeah, I see. Ben, I told you, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it with enough steroids, Michael.
Yeah, steroids, yeah.
It's roids, Michael. That's what it is.
Yeah. Creatine.
Creatine and roids for the gang. And, dedicated 24-hour coach and fitness team.
Yeah. You know who doesn't do it anymore, though?
Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
Is that so, Michael?
Yeah, he's never taken his shirt off anymore. When's the last time you saw Ryan Reynolds take his shirt off?
Last week when I went to a very, very exclusive Hollywood meetup with him.
Oh, very good. Like an Eyes Wide Shut.
like an Eyes Wide Shut, Michael. I wasn't supposed to know it was him, but he made too many one-liners and quips smugly for me to not recognise him. So
That's kind of
that was that. Michael, there was a point where Guardians of the Galaxy would have been quite influential, Michael.
Go on.
And there was a point where the Marvel Cinematic Universe probably shaped a few sub-genres here and there.
I would say so, yeah.
And one of those, Michael, was definitely Deadpool. And it's hard to argue which influenced which more, but I think Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of tied for genre bending at the time.
Go on.
So before that, I think one of the greatest criticisms you could level at 2012 Joss Whedon's Avengers.
Go on.
Or 2008's Thor?
2010.
2010's Thor, or the early Iron Man, or the early bloody Captain America took itself a bit serious.
Okay, go on. I thought Thor was kind of farcical, but all right. 2011 for Thor. He kept bumping into things, Ben.
Yeah, but I think,
He kept bumping into things.
the background was very serious, Michael.
Benjamin, he bumped into things. He got tasered as well, remember?
I forgot he got tasered. Yeah, he did get tasered. It's true. He was tasered.
Always bumping into things and getting tasered.
But I do think they were a little bit straight-laced, Michael. And then I think Guardians of the Galaxy came along, and I certainly remember seeing Guardians of the Galaxy and going, this is all right.
It's a revelation.
This is a bit of a revelation. And then I remember, Michael, we got the first trailer for Deadpool, which arguably wasn't a Marvel film, Michael, because it was part of the Fox canon.
Yeah, Fox Cinematic Universe.
But that was their kind of vanguard for a different style of superhero. And I remember it being distinctly different, Michael. I was like, this is so silly, but very good.
It had X gonna give it to you in it.
Yeah, and it was an enjoyable thing, and it was very silly, and it was very Ryan Reynolds, but it worked. It worked, Michael.
Go on.
And this week, when I was kind of, batting away the existential dread of existence, I stumbled across on TikTok somebody referring to it as a genre, Deadpool as a genre.
Deadpool as a genre, Benjamin? I don't know what you mean.
And I said, what on earth does this young white man who looks like he may not leave his basement very often mean? And then I realised I was looking at a mirror and trying to scroll. It was very awkward.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's very awkward. But Michael, I think you might be onto something there, because shortly after that I saw the trailer for David Harbour as Santa Claus in Violent Night.
Violent night.
Holy night. All is dark. All is fight. There we go.
Very good.
Yeah, just about pulled that out of my ass. So, Michael, it's bizarre. It's a film where Santa Claus is forced to take on a crew of criminals as they attempt to take a rich person's house and hold the family to ransom.
Yeah. That's it. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. That's the film. And Michael, it has all the hallmarks of a Deadpool film.
Go on.
And
what do you mean by that?
I've broken it down into three distinct categories, Michael.
Okay.
Now, this character was around before Deadpool, but it has certainly become a central focus since Deadpool, and that's the
Santa Claus.
That is no, not Santa Claus, Michael. That is the character trope of the incompetent badass.
Oh yeah, go on.
So he's kind of a bumbling buffoon, and yet highly fucking skilled.
Yeah, terrifying.
He's like a schlubby machine. And it's kind of interesting. So that's the first one. It's the incompetent badass.
So who's doing that? Whose character is like that?
There's a few different ones, but in Violent Night it's Santa Claus.
Obviously, yeah.
It's the Santa Claus character. You can see it. He plays a nervous, out of his depth machine, just a weapon of a human being, and he kind of takes them out in a. I suppose it's a bit like Steven Seagal in Under Siege, but played for laughs.
Yeah. Steven Seagal not intentionally played for laughs, you mean?
Yeah, intentionally played for laughs. I love Under Siege. I unapologetically think it's the greatest Steven Seagal film. It's bizarre. But yeah, so it got me thinking about that particular trope, Michael. So the incompetent badass is Very, very common. The most recent example I could think of was Bullet Train. Did you ever watch Bullet Train?
I didn't watch Bullet Train. It had Brad Pitt in it.
Yes, Bradley Pitt.
And Michelle Yeoh, I assume.
No, actually, funnily enough, not.
Funnily
It did
enough,
have
she's not in
Yazzie
it.
Beetz in it.
Oh, yeah.
It also had a bloody noted internet thirst trap. What's his name? No.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Thank you so much. I knew you'd know who the internet thirst trap was. And then
He's a
it
very
has
sexy fella.
Brian Tyrese Henry in it.
Oh yeah. He was in Eternals.
He was him that was there in that Eternals thing there now.
He was Fastos, Ben. Nobody liked that.
Did they not? Nobody.
No, nobody liked it. Benjamin, it's not Yazzie Beetz, by the way. It's Zazie.
It's Zazie Beetz. Yazzie Beetz is just. It's probably. I feel like it's racist.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Was
yeah.
I racist?
You've mispronounced Jazzy Beats, basically. You've just
no.
done a Ron Burgundy on the word Jazzy Beats.
That's terrible.
Not great,
I'm
not a
very
great
sorry.
look. Yeah.
I'm very sorry, guys. That is on me, 100%. So yeah, I think what we look at in terms of stuff like that is all three of those men are a good example of an incompetent badass. They are essentially incredibly neurotic people that are given ridiculously high level skills. So that was kind of driven forward by Ryan. That's the only character Ryan Reynolds has ever played.
Pretty much Hannibal King.
Yeah, his later career especially, The Hitman's Bodyguard,
Yes.
Six Underground,
Yes.
Red Notice,
Yes.
All the films that I can't remember the plot of to save my life.
I think they have the same plot, largely.
I think they might just be the same film. I think they used AI and they just generated different skins over the actors and called it something else.
Except it's always Ryan Reynolds. Benjamin,
Yeah.
I think the ultimate example of that character trope, and I think it does fit in with your concept of the Daredevil genre, but it's probably a little bit older, is Archer.
Archer's a perfect example. Yeah. Archer is a perfect
Absolutely
example.
useless. And then, just extremely terrifyingly capable in bursts.
Yeah. And I think, at one point, Archer's a great example because, as I said, this existed before Deadpool, but I think Deadpool has propelled it as a core staple. As in, it's okay to make a lot of films with this type of character.
Yeah, just put them everywhere.
Just put them everywhere. Just stick them in there. It's grand. But Archer is a perfect example of a character that did that. And it got me thinking, Michael, what's the earliest example I could think of? Rick O'Connell from The Mummy.
Rick O'Connell, yeah. Rick isn't terrifying.
He's not terrifying, but he's incredibly capable.
Yeah, you just shoot something out of someone's hand or something from miles away or whatever.
Yeah, and he'll be like, "Oh, nice, it worked." And there's a lot of that going on for him. So I was completely behind that as a concept. So that was kind of the first one I saw. Then we had the fast talking while fighting kind of trope that came into the incompetent badass thing as well. That's become a staple in comics. In that kind of fast talking action stuff has become such a huge thing to the point where, Michael,
sorry to interrupt, Ben. Do you mean quipping and jipping around while you're doing a fight?
Quipping and jipping around to the point where it irritates the life and soul out of the people that you're fighting.
Now, Benjamin,
yeah.
before you go any further with that,
Go on.
wasn't that Spider-Man's whole thing in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah, absolutely.
He just annoyed his villains into submission, basically.
Annoyed the shit out of them, Michael. Absolutely. I think that's 100% fair. I don't think the trope made its way to film.
No, because Tobey Maguire's too sincere.
He's too sincere, Michael. That's the issue. I think one of the things that early superhero cinema, and I can't believe we can say that with a straight face, but early superhero cinema, very straight-laced.
Yes,
and that was
Superman.
often the downfall of early superhero films. We went and watched them, and the sincerity of them often came across as kind of mockish. And you were just like, this is silly. This is fucking silly. Whereas Deadpool is the first one that's like, this is fucking silly. And it's great. I think there's a tonal shift in Deadpool that we see, probably gently lifted by Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think came out a little bit earlier.
Yeah. No, a good bit earlier, I think.
A good bit earlier. But I think that tone was established, and I think James Gunn had a dalliance with it in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the Deadpool team just went full throttle. But you can notice that, Michael, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Go on.
They do ramp up the silliness of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And if you were to look at a balance, Michael, and say that, you know, you need to strike the perfect balance between self-aware and sincere, I would say that Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did a very good job of being sincere and self-aware. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2 leaned heavier on self-awareness than sincerity.
Yes, I mean, it certainly reduced the character of Drax from... Drax has kind of become an incompetent badass as well, in a way.
I'm not even sure Drax is a badass.
He was pretty badass in the Christmas special.
Ah, damn it. Okay, I have to go watch the Christmas special.
Yeah, he's pretty badass in the Christmas special, Ben. He's flipping over cars with one hand. People are shooting him with guns, and he's just kind of laughing because he thinks it's fun.
I wonder, was that intentional, Michael, because he was kind of nerfed a bit in the previous installments, and James Gunn was like, that's not fair on Dave.
Yeah, I imagine it was entirely that. I think the Christmas special, looking back on the Christmas special was James Gunn's apology note to Drax and Mantis.
It's a primer, I think. It's a get ready for the GOTG3.
Probably, possibly, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So, you know, I think we've seen that across the Marvel Universe after Deadpool. We saw it certainly in Thor 3 Ragnarok.
Yes.
Where that balance was to be
comedy.
struck. Yeah. But I think we've seen the failure of Deadpool as a genre in Thor Love and Thunder. I think when that balance between self-aware and sincere isn't struck very well, it's a disaster. However, it can be done brilliantly. I think Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, is the perfect example of this. And it the Suicide Squad is the perfect example of this. And I think it kind of takes one more key thing, which is that B-list becomes A-list. So you take all these obscure characters, Michael, and you boot them on up to, you know, main character status, where you would never have done that before. We saw that with Negasonic Teenage Warhead in Deadpool. We saw it with Colossus, who's...
How very dare you call Colossus a B-lister?
He's a B-lister in the cinema universe, certainly.
Dare you put Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the same tier?
I didn't do it. Deadpool did.
Deadpool. Benjamin, that's a very good point. I suppose further to that point, the show that is incredibly Deadpool-y in its influences is Peacemaker.
Yeah, 100%.
That's where you were going.
Yeah, no, but like you got there before me, which is it's a good thing. It means that the argument holds a little bit of water.
A little bit of water.
A little bit of water. I think I would argue that Peacemaker is Deadpool done better.
Yeah, Peacemaker's better than Deadpool. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because it readdresses the balance of sincerity. We end up caring an awful lot about John Cena's ridiculously over-the-top villain, who's not really a villain at all.
Well, he is a villain in the movie.
He is in the movie, but we get such a deep dive, Michael, into that character post-movie. Still probably one of the best series of the year that I saw.
Yeah, very good. That's this year.
That was this year.
Holy shit.
That was this year.
I think that might be the only series I've seen in its entirety this year. No, yeah, Rings of the Dragon. No, Rings of Power.
It's too many things coming out, Michael. It's very hard to keep up with. But I do think Deadpool has caused a ripple effect. And I think we might be... I think one of the places where it might be most felt is in the Disney TV series.
Go on.
So we watched She-Hulk, Michael.
Yeah.
And She-Hulk has always been meta and self-aware.
Even before Deadpool. But I think that tone is definitely borrowed in She-Hulk. She-Hulk went full comedy. And a lot of that B-list to A-list, incompetent badassery kind of thing is very, very present in She-Hulk. Go on.
So I think Emil Blonsky is probably the prime recipient of that treatment. You know, Emil Blonsky was awful in the 2008 Incredible Hulk. He's an asshat.
He was an asshat, but he was very competent.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So post Deadpool, we got an Emil Blonsky that is essentially a big new age hippie.
Yeah.
You know, not like Emil Blonsky could arguably destroy She-Hulk or anybody that caused an issue, but he's been completely nerfed in favor of self-awareness and kind of jokiness.
Yoga and whatnot.
He's not a villain anymore. And it's funny, we tried to run predictions on this, Michael, where we were like, oh, do you think he's going to have a heel turn? Do you think he's going to end up a villain? No, not at all.
He did attend that conference.
But he didn't go anywhere. And then it was heavily implied that he didn't realise what conference he was speaking at. He didn't know it was the I Hate She-Hulk conference. He just found out that he was just booked to talk at a conference.
Great stuff for the writers of She-Hulk.
But that's what I mean. Like, it didn't turn out very well. But I think, you know, the great illusion that Deadpool might have cast over us is that anything goes. And it doesn't. You still need pillars and building blocks.
You still need a bit of sincerity, is what you're saying.
You still need a bit of sincerity, and you still need to balance that dichotomy as best you can. Oh, I saved myself there. I was going to say balance that balance, Michael, but I pulled myself out of it.
Oh, no, that wouldn't make any sense.
I reached into the gotta balance that balance. That t-shirt will be in our merch shop very, very, very soon.
Gotta balance that balance.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's very interesting, and I think we're probably going to see a few more films. We'll have to go watch Violent Night, Michael.
Yeah, it's out.
It's out now. We didn't get a chance to see it, unfortunately.
But we've had a very busy weekend, Benjamin.
We've been very busy, Michael. We were D&Ging with the boys.
Very much so.
And then we went to that fan announcement for Transformers Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I regret that, to be honest.
I also regret that. That was a huge waste of 6 hours of our lives, and I got dressed up as the Beastie Boys for nothing.
Benjamin, also available in our merch shop is the t-shirt with a picture of your face and the phrase, "I'm the reason for Michelle Yeoh's debt problem."
Yeah, it's me. Hi, I'm the gambling problem. It's me.
I'm the one who caused it.
Yes. Anyway, Michael, let's see what the listeners think. Do you think Deadpool's a genre? Do you think it's a load of shite? Let us know. There's a few different... Yeah, what?
There were quite Deadpool-y movies before Deadpool.
Go on.
I went back and had a look at some of them, and now that you've given me your kind of criterion, Ben, tell me your 3 criterias. Again.
So my 3 criterias are incompetent badass.
Yeah.
B-list becomes A-list.
Yeah.
And self-aware yet sincere.
Right. Okay, yeah. Because what I was kind of looking at more was kind of frenetic, farcical shoot-em-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Including, for example, 2007's Shoot-em-up.
Oh, my God, Michael. What a great example.
With bloody Clive Owen.
What a great example. Clive Owen's last great film.
Very good and very underappreciated film, Benjamin.
So good. Apart from the weird Monica Bellucci scenes, but still.
It has a very weird Monica Bellucci sex scene where they're doing a big sex bend while there's a gunfight.
It's very strange, Michael.
And that pushes the envelope more than the Daredevil movies do.
The Daredevil movies, you say?
Deadpool.
It's twice you've made that error.
It's late, Benjamin.
Get out of here.
Very late. We've been busy boys.
Get out of here.
The other ones, Ben, obviously, the other ones that kind of initially might seem to be in the same genre are the 2 Cranks.
Oh, Michael, Crank is a great shout. Very stylistically similar.
Very stylistically similar, but I've forgotten his name. God damn it.
Jason Statham.
Not Jason Statham, the character.
Cranky Boy.
He has a great name. But he's not an incompetent badass. He's just a common or garden badass.
Common or garden badass.
He has a great name. I know we're both desperately looking it up.
We both are, Michael.
He has an incredible name. Chev Chelios.
Chev Chelios.
Chev Chelios isn't incompetent. Or a B-lister who gets bumped up because he was created for the Crank movies.
Chev Chelios.
But you could imagine, yeah, I know.
Why not?
Played by Jason Statham. Why not? Fucking just
Chev Chelios. That sounds good. Stick that down.
Yeah, is he Greek?
I don't know.
I don't know, but anyway, sorry, you were doing your wrap up.
I was doing my wrap up. What do you think? Apart from mixed stellar examples there, what other examples do you have of Deadpool as a genre? Or do you think it's a load of guff?
This is a load of old guff.
A load of old guff. Get in touch with us in a few different places, ladies and gentlemen. You can find us on the interwebs at www.seomrabeag.com, SEOMORABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It does indeed. You can find us on Instagram at Sure Look, Sure Listen Podcast.
Always up to date with the latest in pop culture news, rumours and gossip.
Fuck you. You can also find us on Twitter at ListenSure.
You can find us.
You can find us. You won't find anything there, but you can find us.
You can find us there. Yeah, sure, you can.
But the best way to get in touch with us, ladies and gentlemen, as always, is to hop up on that Discord, baby.
Hop up on it, Benjamin. It's where all the buzz is.
All the buzzy boys. Not
That's
the
where it's all
Beastie
going.
Boys. I've made that mistake once this week already. But there's plenty of buzz. That's it from us this week, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.
See you next week, where we will hopefully have seen Violent Night, and we'll do an impromptu rendition of the song Violent Night, Holy Night.